Welcome to the Nightly Rant
with
your
hosts,
Mike.
and Toria.
This is the show where we examine society from a sarcastic point of view.
If you like insane conversations, this is definitely the show for you.
Let's get into today's topic. YPN people, I don't know about you, but I love helping out a friend. That's why I want to shout out my friend Brian Little and his podcast, Your Favorite Blockhead. This is the only show that manages to weave together peanuts and MMA into one heck of an amazing podcast. You can find Your Favorite Blockhead wherever your favorite podcasts reside and at yourfavoriteblockhead.com. Do me a huge favor and listen to Brian's show. You'll be entertained and you'll help out a friend. Now, as I said, let's get into today's topic. How many of our listeners do you think have ever heard of or been to Firehouse subs?
Probably all of our U.S. listeners.
Okay, now before I go any further, this is not an advertisement for Firehouse subs. It's not a review of Firehouse subs.
But they are delicious.
They're just part of the topic of the story, the humorous part of the topic of the story. So, Firehouse subs, we love them.
They're delicious.
And we have their app. And because we have their app, of course, they have our email address. And I get Firehouse subs emails. And this is how much I like Firehouse subs. Most junk email, if the subject doesn't catch my eye, and I'm sorry, even though I subscribed, I think it's junk. I didn't ask to be sent 700 emails a week. But in any event, send it, and I just ignore most of them. But Firehouse subs, I open all of their messages.
Because they're advertising new deliciousness.
Because they send me things like this. So I open it on, I think, Sunday morning. No.
It was yesterday where you
It was
asked
Monday.
me where you could order Firehouse subs from.
It was Monday that I saw it. Yep.
Yeah.
And I saw this sandwich, and it was like called a triple deck something or other.
Yeah.
And it said, because you have the app, you can get this sandwich from March 27th to April 2nd. Well, it was March 27th when I asked, and today was March 28th. So now you know what day it is. But this is important to the story. We go. First, we try to order it for like takeout, where we just go pick it up and eat at the table. But their stupid app doesn't work. Like, you can't check out. All this stuff was going on. It was crazy. So we're like, fine, we'll go there. So I say to the guy, hey, it says you got to order it in the app, but the app isn't working. Oh, well, that's okay anyway. We don't have that sandwich.
Right.
I'm like, what do you mean you don't have it? It's advertised right
It
here.
literally says you have it. I'm confused.
And like, I can see in his back room, there's a poster of the sandwich. Like, so then he says, no, we don't have it in the store. It doesn't go live until April 3rd. And I'm like, then why would they advertise to come in and get the sandwich from March 27th to April 2nd? And he goes, well, what day is it today? And I said, March 28th. Dead in the center of the date. They say they have it. And he goes, well, yeah, you'd have to order it online. We don't have it in the store.
So the magical sandwich.
So then I said, well, who delivers it then? Where does it come from? How do you get the sandwich? Where is this magical sandwich shop in the sky?
Right.
And then you could see the light bulb go on in his head. Like, yeah, you're right. Where would it come from? And here's the kicker. They have two other sandwiches that have just been merged together, essentially, to make this sandwich.
Right.
And that means that they already have those sandwiches on their menu, which means they have the ingredients. All they got to do is merge it. So it wasn't even that is the issue. Because I know sometimes people say, oh, well, maybe they didn't get the blah, blah, blah sauce until this day. There isn't anything like that on this thing. It's just two sandwiches. Right. Plunk. So that's why it was funny, because the online comment that he made was what ultimately made him realize how dumb he was being about the fact that they don't have the sandwich.
It was actually pretty humorous.
It was. But talking about humorous. Why
are you talking about my humorous?
Not your humorous, just humorous in general. Something that is humorous would be our newest friend. What's his name?
Douglas.
Douglas.
Yes.
He is Doug for short.
Or Dougie.
Or Dougie. Or sometimes
Dougler.
or when I introduce him to certain family members, I introduce him as Douglas J. Dog. Yes.
Because Mike's a freak.
Because I'm weird and I just do it so that they'll ask me why J. And I say, why not J?
Yeah. That.
Nobody has an answer to that question. Anyway, he is a 9-pound terrier.
He's a
20-pound terrier poodle mix.
He's kind of freaky looking.
They shaved his hair down so low that he looks like sheared sheep.
Yeah, I've been calling him Sheep as he runs around the house.
He's very, very cute. Everyone who sees him loves his face.
He's a strange combination of Yogdog and Brie.
And yes. And interestingly, you made a good point. You know, we got him and he, of course, knows we rescued him. We were sitting with him at the shelter, petting him and talking to him and like letting him approach us rather than us forcing ourselves on him, which is generally what we've learned with foster dogs. Right? Just let them get comfortable with you on their schedule. And he just loved us right away. So then we're like, you were thinking the same way as me. Is he only being affectionate towards us because we rescued him? Or is this what he's really like?
Well, then our friend came over the other day.
Exactly where I was going.
Mike wasn't here, so he missed all of the cuteness. But she sat down on the couch and Doug was like, oh, well, look, a lap. I'm going to climb up in your lap and then I'm going to lean on you and you're going to damn pet me.
Because that's what the Doug man likes.
And then she was like, I'm going to take him home with me. This is my Doug now.
See?
It's a good thing I didn't see him first.
See that? He just has that personality. And what's sad is he's for sure been abused, 100%. Yeah. And I only wonder, I mentioned this to you yesterday, I wonder what his personality would have been like had he not been abused. Because he's so trusting, even though he's been abused.
Right.
He has his limits. Don't get me wrong. He's not a pushover. He has his limits. And like they turned him in because he was snappy. And you know what? I'm going to say he can be snappy.
I think he's snappy when he's uncomfortable, though.
Right.
Because he has this, like, rash, allergy, something red and unpleasant going on his underside.
But he never actually, what is it you say he does? He doesn't actually bite you, right?
He just puts his teeth on you. When he connects, it's just a placement of teeth, and then he removes them. It doesn't hurt. It feels like somebody
Yogi.
just lightly grabbed him.
So he does it exactly like Yogi.
No, Yogi is vicious, and Yogi actually bites.
Not me. He does that very thing to me. He just puts his teeth on there and takes them away.
But anyway, the only times he's snapped at us in his way were when we were trying to stop him from licking his itchy rash. And since we started treating his itchy rash, he hasn't done it a single time.
Yeah, you're right. I think it's just interesting that people don't want to take the time. And you just have to be patient with a dog like that. And you have to, like, when it gets nasty like that, yeah, it's not hurting you, but it's still not proper behavior. Do you really want it to do that to a little kid? No, that would scare the hell out of the little kid.
But he's not Evander.
Right.
For those of you who've been listening to us for a long time, our last foster dog, Evander, was vicious. He did not like anyone. Especially me. I had the audacity to take a Taco Bell wrapper away from this little dude. And that was
after that, he hated you.
Hated. He bit me, he drew blood, and after that, he hated me. Every time he would see me, he'd be on the attack.
Yep.
So I compare this, putting his teeth on me, to Evander. And while you're right, it's not a polite behavior, I'm not afraid of it.
Well, no, but I'm just saying, it's not something, what I'm getting at, though, is if you know the right way to handle it, you can train that out of him fast, like really fast. And he is the kind of dog that wants to please you so much that he's going to learn fast. Why do you think Brie learns some of the tricks she learns so quickly? Because she would die to please us.
Right. And he seems similar. I mean, like I said, he hasn't snapped since we started treating his rash. And it's not like I've told him, no, you can't lick your junk any less.
Yeah.
Like I'm still stopping him when he's licking.
Yeah.
He's just no longer mad about it.
He's just not getting ticked off about it. Exactly. Yeah.
So he's got his flaws, but I love him, and he's a good fit so far.
Yeah, I am surprised at how attached I have gotten to this animal already.
He's gotten his ass kicked by 3 out of 4 cats in less than a week.
He doesn't want the fourth one ever.
The fourth one is Olive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He doesn't want her ever. Because when she fights,
she's mean.
It's for a purpose.
Right.
She always fights for a purpose.
He triggered the chubby in the hallway. She hissed and growled and made him cower in the corner. He stuck his nose in Parker's butt in the closet, and Parker whapped him. And then he got within 2 feet of Jasper this morning, and Jasper whapped him.
Yeah, Jasper doesn't trust him at all.
It's because Jasper is Jasper.
But here you have it, He's just a baby, even though he's 9 years old. That's where the 9 came from, by the way.
I understand that.
He's 20 pounds and he's 9 years old. And he's like, he could use a little more weight on him. I think 23 pounds, 22 and a half pounds, somewhere in there. That's going to be a good number for him.
He'll get there.
But he's like, what I love about him is when he wants attention, he just comes up. Like if I'm sitting on the couch, he comes up, he comes right to my right side. He snuggles in and then he lays on me.
Yeah.
And he will just die out of sleep. Good night. Right there. That's how much he trusts. And we've only had this dog for 5 days?
Yeah, we went and got him on Monday. No, we've had him for a week now then, haven't we?
Yeah. Was it Monday?
Or Tuesday. One of the two.
I thought it was Tuesday. So it is a week today.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yep.
Well, he's a very sweet boy. I'm glad that we picked him up. He's going to be a work in progress for a while. So we'll give you little updates as we go along. One quick update on the CEO is that knock on wood, he's been staying pretty infection free and healthy, wealthy over there. So yep. I'm happy to hear that and see that. And I notice it in the mornings when he goes to the park, how zoomy he is. He's just,
he's got funny. The stream of a champion.
Well, and it's funny when you know what to look for. It's so obvious how much energy he actually has now compared to before.
Right.
It almost makes you sad that you didn't notice.
Right.
Like how did I miss it?
Getting older.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what a lot of people do. They make that mistake.
Right.
I'm glad we caught it though.
Me too.
Because guarantee you it's extended his life by us catching that. Guarantee you, 100%.
Well, considering he wasn't able to pee at all and that would have killed him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, but I'm not even talking that major thing. I'm talking since then, all the infections, he could have gotten away with having an infection for a long time, but it's not good for him and it will shorten his life.
Yep.
This way, we've taken care of it. And it was a tough road. That dog wasn't going to let go of that infection. He was like, nope, it's mine.
No, he had like every bacteria possible. He had to get nuclear bomb antibiotics, man.
Twice.
Yeah.
Twice. Nuclear bomb. And it makes me nervous because when he really needs them, he's going to be immune to them. But that's also why I appreciate the new vet's approach, where it was like, let him take it and then keep him off it for a little while and see what happens. I appreciated that because it wasn't like now let's test him right away. Oh no, he still has infection. Let's pile on more antibiotics. Right. She understands that she needs to cycle it in and out. And I think that's a cool thing.
Yep. We have a good vet and we have good poochies in our zoo.
Yep. And the kitties, they're doing great. They love it here. They like it in this house a lot.
Yeah. They've all picked their little zone where they hang out.
And they're able to have their zone where they hang out and not be on top of one another.
Well, Parker's kind of on top of the Thunderbutt, but other than that.
That's because they both chose that, but yeah, they could choose otherwise. They don't have to choose to be on top of one another. It's kind of cool.
Right.
But anyway, I am out of things to say about Douglas J. Dog.
Well, on that note, Douglas J. Dog says it's time to go to bed.
All right, then.
Good night, everyone.
Hasta bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Nightly Rant.
If you enjoyed the show, please give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Google Play.
If you didn't enjoy the show, please just ignore that previous request for a rating.
This has been a Yogi's Podcast Network production.